y'all doing today?
Good. How are
Fantastic.
you?
How are you,
Fabulous.
I'm feeling pretty good myself. It's always so nerve-wracking meeting all the new queens. There's so many. I'm really excited to be here. I guess sort of a general question starting off is like, I always want to know people's emotions when you first walk into the workroom. What is that feeling like? And I heard there's been some upgrades too. It's like you walk in, what are your first thoughts? Maybe you could start us off, Irene, because you look ready to rock.
Yeah, I look very prepared. I think my first feeling was definitely just like, wow, that's a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah, 16 of y'all.
Totally.
That's
Yeah.
There's a lot of people.
What was the question? The first impressions?
Yeah, like your first
or
emotions
what were your thoughts?
Yeah.
For me, I was very, very, very excited and very happy and proud of myself. Waiting backstage to walk into the workroom. That was me trying to, like trying to zen, because I was shitting my pants, honestly. But I had to remind myself, hey, this is it. You made it. Just be yourself.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think my first thought walking into the workroom was, why are my nipples erect? I just think
right. It's very cold in there, right?
Very cold. I was also very turned on. And
yeah, combo.
I don't know, just being on the lot like that very first day was just, it felt so like out of body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and yeah, I really can't imagine it. Like every single year, I'm just so like proud of y'all and stunned because I know that I would, as you said, Ara, shit my pants.
Mm-hmm. Literally.
I mean, I have asked everyone if they also shit their pants when I walked into the workroom.
What a mess. What an ungodly mess. So this is obviously, it's a really interesting time to be, a queer person, right? Because, it's really dark out here, but this is also, such a beacon, this show. And so a bit of a pageant question here, but what does it mean to you to be on this show right now? Let's go with Amethyst.
It's a huge privilege, especially, right now in the current state of the world. Mm-hmm. Not really sure why it's happening, but, I've said this before, if Drag Race is going to do one thing, it's make a statement. And that statement is love everybody, no matter race, gender, idea, religion,
Absolutely.
For me, one thing I want to say is that just like we are here to spread love, right? Well, we are all clowns here. We're not taking anything too seriously. This is our life is too short for you to take it seriously, honestly. But yeah, spreading love.
It's easy to look at the world right now and think that things are getting worse and it's very dark, but I think it's helpful to remember that this is probably one of the best times to be a human being in all of history. And I feel so lucky to be able to do what makes me happy and to share what makes me happy with other people. And I just hope that seeing people like Drag Race stars will inspire other people to let go of hate and spread love and do what makes them happy. Unless hating people is what makes them happy. Don't do that shit.
I mean, I feel like we really all get to represent all for like the little gays and days, and not even for the gays too, just for, even if they're straight, identify, someone that feels a little ostracized from their community or a little different or strange, like we can represent for them too. So
amazing. Absolutely love that. I mean, I'm 36, I've been out for some time now, and even still this show just like inspires me every single time it comes out. I'm like, makes me feel like I can do my thing. You know what I'm saying?
Coming out never really stops, like you come out the first time to the people in your life, but every time you meet someone new, it's this thing of like, should I be completely honest about who I am? And I think Drag Race is always a good reminder that being true to yourself is the best path forward in life.
Amazing. Absolutely love that. I'm kind of curious, you get that call, right? They say, hey, you're on the show, pass the psychological exam or whatnot. Who do you call first? Who did you call first?
I called my mom. So I just got out of the gym, got home. I was shaking my my protein shake, and I got a call from Drag Race, and I said, "Holy crap, is this?" No, but my mom has been my biggest supporter. She really was one of the reasons why I wanted to be on the show. A lot of the girls know this. My family and I have gone through a lot, and I wanted to give my mom something to celebrate and be proud of.
Amazing.
I also called my mom, and she didn't answer. It was
What a
really
witch.
awkward. It was because I got the call at work, and then I had to get the okay to like leave the floor and take a phone call. And then when my boss, saw that like something was happening, she was like, "You can call your mom. Yeah, that's fine." And I called her, and I was like, "She's not there." So it was really awkward.
Go right back.
So I
to
called
the
my
floor.
sister, and we celebrated.
I called my mom too. I was like, hey, I know that I'm probably not going to be able to come down to visit in June like I had planned. I'm sorry. She's like, oh my God, why? And I was like, because I'm going to be on Drag Race.
Yeah, I don't know if Sugar told the story yet of how we found out, but if she did, I don't know. But we were literally in this hotel room and I got the call and we had a friend in the other room that didn't even know that we auditioned and we didn't want them to know. So I'm getting the call and I'm like, oh my God. And I think Sugar was in the hallway. And then like she came in and I was like, okay, I got the call. She got the call too. Cause by the time you get the call, you pretty much, there's so many stages that you go through. So if you're getting a call at that point, So then Sugar got the call and we were freaking out, but we were trying to be quiet. So you're like internally screaming.
Yeah. Can you imagine if like you got the call, but then Sugar didn't?
I know. I would have. Yeah, no.
So awkward. Wait, Amethyst, where were you working? You said I had to leave the floor. Did you get to, like? I just want to know. Did you like get the call and go, peace? I'm out.
Yes and no. When we came back from filming, I worked a couple more months before I was like, peace. But I was working with special needs kids.
Okay, amazing.
Thank you.
Ara, so you're, I know you spent some time in Chicago. That's where I'm from. And I'm in LA now, but native Chicagoan. What'd you learn from the Chicago drag scene?
Oh my gosh. We were talking about this earlier. It's just the drag scene is just so diverse and it's just so competitive. I learned that you have to work hard to get to where you want to be. Not everyone is going to be granted what they want right from the beginning. You have to earn it. And so I worked really hard to be here and I'm really proud of myself.
Amazing. I love it. And you look incredible. Come on, shoulders.
Thank you. Stop it.
Irene, obviously it's a lot of pressure in Seattle. Have you been talking to, your Seattle sisters?
Absolutely. Yeah. I have been saying in the interviews, Bosco getting on Drag Race before me was the best thing that ever happened to me because she was able to give me the entire rundown.
Yeah.
You got the tea, hunty.
Oh, baby, I had all the tea.
I mean, because we're literally like not allowed to ask y'all certain questions, but what's something she told you that you can tell us?
She told me who to cozy up to.
Ooh.
And that's me.
And that was Ara. So Spice, y'all, you and Sugar have a ton of like social media followers. I was just like obsessing over your Instagram this morning, getting ready for this. Sorry, your TikTok this morning, getting ready for this interview. Do you feel like people, when you walked in the room, they were like, oh, she's just the social girl?
Yeah, very that, but also, oh, this is a crazy person just walked in here. So that too. But I don't know. I feel like with drag queens, especially, it's kind of when you meet each other. I think of it kind of as like dogs meeting each other. You know how they kind of like sniff each other's ass and kind of see what's going on. It gives very that, right? So it's like, okay, so it gives very like what's going on up in here. So yeah, just in general, it's very yes.
Oh my god.
So I feel like like people might have preconceived notion. Oh, you're the social media queen. Oh, you're the no, you're the annoying queen. Probably all through that. But yeah, so it's a thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And Amethyst, I know I already asked you about your job, but I don't know. Listen, I don't know anything about Connecticut. Is there a Connecticut drag scene? There has to be. Obviously, you're here.
There is. I was gonna say there's not much to do in Connecticut, but one of the highlights we do have is going to an amazing drag brunch or an amazing drag show. Whether you're in Fairfield County, Hartford County, there's actually a lot of drag here.
Okay, amazing. I never knew. Just I'm Black, so I was like, I'm never gonna go to Connecticut.
Shay,
I appreciate you being here. Thanks y'all for joining us. I know you got a long day, so I appreciate you taking your time out to talk to all of us journalists. I think what a lot of people want to know is, what's going to set this season apart. So what's new about season 15? What surprises can we expect?
Well, there's 16.
About you, Malaysia. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
Wow.
Oh, hilarious.
I mean, first and foremost, I mean, it's the 15th season of RuPaul's Drag Race. And like for anything to last this long in the world, that's iconic, first and foremost. I mean, we have 16 queens this season. Like that's the most queens that RuPaul's Drag Race has ever had. So that's already like something to look forward to, because the more people, the more drama, the more fun, the more chaos, the more fashion, the more runways. Like it's just extra, more of everything. I would say that just be prepared for a season of a whole bunch of extraness, if that's a word.
Okay. You said chaos. I'm like, look forward to that. Lux, did you want to hop in on that?
I'm joking. Yeah, I would have to say that it's definitely it seems like it's going to be a very refreshing season. It definitely, I feel, kind of references like the older seasons of Drag Race and like the kind of innocence of it. I feel like in the moment there was a lot of moments that just felt very like, you know, like in the moment nostalgic. And like there was a lot of moments where I was like, oh wow, this is giving like, you know, like Drag Race. I mean, Drag Race now is still Drag Race, but like when Drag Race was in like the prime of like the growing monster that it is now, it kind of is giving that, but like times 10.
Yeah,
unfiltered.
I mean, even in the promo, right? Like the promo look with y'all around the race car. I said, okay. I said, okay, we back to the race car.
Right.
How about you, Anetra? Let me know.
I mean, the tagline, the biggest season ever, bitch, is big. Like, this season is stacked. You know, the twins in themselves are just a huge thing. The cast is so diverse. Everybody comes from a different walk of life and a different walk of life of drag as well. We're not all the type of same, like, kind of drag queen, which is really interesting. And putting those to combat against another, I feel like is really interesting to watch. And it's going to be really fucking big because there's 16 of us, girl.
Yeah, it kind of seems like this season is not so much like this is the comedy queen, this is the pageant queen. It's like a lot of y'all have like really diverse skill sets. You know, y'all are working. So it's gonna be interesting. I can't wait.
Yes.
Marsha.
Yeah, I think our season really, it feels like a return to form. Everyone, I feel like what is so magical about our season and what is so special about it is the 16 of us, because we all are very well rounded and we all bring something very specific to the energy and the culture of the season. And I think people are really gonna fall in love with all of us because I think we're all really lovable.
Oh my God, that's so sweet. I don't say that more. I'm lovable, you know? Damn.
Yes, you should. You are lovable.
Right? I'm gonna take that one with me. So obviously this is it's a really interesting time to be a queer person generally, but specifically a drag queen, right? You know, it's getting a little interesting out here, but also this is like kind of a pinnacle, right? Like I know personally I feel freer than ever as a queer person. What does it mean to you all to be on this show at this time in our history? Let's start with Anetra.
I think in this current moment, we're in a very polarizing like conversation with drag. There's a lot of conversation about, you know, kids and if it should be around children. I think those people should just think about, you know, drag is about love and it's really just about the creativity and freedom that comes with it. And it feels really special. It feels really necessary right now. Politics and drag, I never really thought would go together, but I can see why they are coming together, because drag is really irreverent and really something that people should take something to learn from. It's not just wigs and costumes. I mean, it is that, but it also is, you know, creativity, freedom, emotion, and self-acceptance. And even like on the show, I feel like your relationship with your drag is very special. But I think something to come from the show, seeing everybody else's drag, seeing how they approach drag and how much they love their drag. I learned so much from that as well. Not just, you know, drag teaching me something for myself. I can learn something about other people from their drag as well.
Yeah.
And that goes for anybody. Like, you're born naked and the rest is drag. Everything that you put on after you get up in the morning is drag. That's who you're telling the world that you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's all around us. You just have to be open and be able to see it.
Yeah. And I think that's something that the show drives home, is like literally just by like completing the act of being in drag, it's already political. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Even the act of just being queer openly, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely. Malaysia, you got something to say?
I mean, I think that drag is so influential in a time like this. But I think the message overall is to always just spread love no matter what, whether, you know, it's drag or, you know, just like what Anetra said, like, it's not really so much more to really say. It's just like all I could do is really agree. I just feel like the time is now to share our art and just like, you know, hopefully, you know, we don't really care if people accept it or not, but we just would love for people to accept it. And because what we have to offer is so special and it's an amazing thing. And we will hope that you accept it with open arms. But yeah.
Yeah. I was on your IG earlier. This is not related to what you just said, but and I saw like that you were like doing wigs for Trina, like styling Trina's hair and whatnot in Miami, and I was like, oh my god, because I love Miami. That's like one of my favorite cities in the world. And I said, oh, okay, Miami girl. That's what's up.
305.
Yeah. And then Lux. So the question I had was, you know, like, you know, you trying to meet the word count and whatnot, but now I kind of want to know, can we expect you to be sort of like the what do they call it, the narrator of the season, where we see you talk, you know?
I feel like I ramble enough to where they could have me narrate the entire season without anyone else talking, and they'd fill the whole hour and 30 minutes. So I definitely think that I could take on the role of the narrator. I don't know. It's like I don't know. I feel like what I say has like substance. I feel like I'm not just ever like rambling on for the sake of just like trying to ramble. Like when people were like, oh, she's trying to like fill the word count, I was like, I don't know, I think I was getting the point across. I feel like I like to, you know, use my words and use my language in the best way. But it's like, if you just don't have like a voice, it's like I have a voice, I want to use it. So oh my god, I'm doing it now.
It's happening.
I can't stop. I can't stop. I'm almost there. Trust me. If I have something that I want to say, I'm going to try to explain it using all of the colors of the language rainbow.
I love it. I'm excited to hear you say it's a new day in the workroom. I know they make all y'all do that over and over and over again. And before I go, Marsha, I want to ask you, you were just in Kinky Boots, right?
Yes.
That's so impressive. That's so cool. So how do experiences like that, how did it affect your drag race journey? Like, how were you able to bring that into the show?
Honestly, the greatest part about it was, so I started rehearsals right after we all got home. And it really gave me something to distract me. So I didn't have to think about the experience that I just had, that I could just like put it on the back burner, focus on something else. And we wrapped up right before our announcement yesterday. So honestly, it was a great distraction, and it was a great reminder that just because drag is like kind of what I'm like leaning into more now, I can still always, you know, go home to musical theater if I want to. None of us are one thing.
Exactly. That's the theme of this season. Y'all doing it all. Come on now. Platter. Something like that. All right. They're screaming at me. I got to go. I appreciate y'all so much. Congrats on the race and everything you're about to do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.